Hello again, it's Noob, and well, I wanted to show off this little tool that I've been working on. It's a relatively novel concept, and you can probably already tell what it is. It's an adjustable L-wrench tool. So obviously, you put your L-wrenches in the bottom of a keyway like this, and if they're a bit floppy like that, then you might want to increase the width, especially for those locks with very large open keyways like this. So you'd slide this out all the way to its maximum, or you close it all the way back up like that to be super close together, and you just turn these little thumb screws like that and it'll be locked in super tight. Now, it was influenced by, of course, the classic adjustable fail-safe tensioner like this, and that was designed so that you would get it in a lock like that. You'd adjust it to the correct height like that, and then you would screw these little dome nuts, and then it'd be locked in so that would then just go into your lock and tension both top and bottom, giving you quite good control of the core. So I looked at that design. I thought, well, and it is a shame you can't really buy these separately anymore. I looked at that and thought, well, is it possible to do a bottom of the keyway tool? There are some locks with quite large open keyways, including a lot of dimple locks, for example. So I have if I just slide that open a bit, admittedly it can be a little tough to, there you go, so like that open. Like the multi-lock here, look, you see it's quite a large keyway. You could extend it out quite far, then you could just gently push it into the lock like this, and then as you do so, it would sort of self-adjust to the right height. Then you do these screws up like this, and then you can see how it's slightly apart and will give you tension control of the core. So that's like one idea there. And in theory, this should work quite well, but it doesn't really. It just isn't very good, and I'll be the first to admit it. I had great fun thinking about this, thinking about what parts I could get. Were there such things as M2 thumb turns? And there were, but they had to come all the way from China, because I'm using little M2 screws here as well. It's made of some wiper blade insert, as you can probably tell, and this is 32 thousandths of an inch thick. To get a right angle bend like that, you have to use a blowtorch and pliers to get a very tight bend, and that's tough to do. And even then, even by thinning down the tips, you see that's 32 thousandth here, even the tips are around 24 thousandths of an inch. That's still going to be 48 thousandths, almost 50 thousandths of an inch thick at that point. And that actually, would you believe, if I undo these and do it all the way up to its closed position like that, and I admit it does look lovely. It looks smart as heck. I really adore this little tool. Even then, it's too thick to really push too far into a keyway of quite a wide Euro cylinder. It won't even go into things like the Master Lock M1 or anything like that. It's just too thick. Now, you could thin this down probably more, but I don't have the confidence to do much more than this by hand. You could probably use a very hard steel in like 18 thousandths to make it at least 36 thousandths instead of nearly 50 thousandths. That might help, but I've tried bending some high yield, well actually it's max yield stainless steel, and even under heat it just cracks. It's too brittle because it's cold works, and if you heat it too much, it probably just lose all its strength anyway. So it has to be done in an industrial process. It'd be quite fiddly to make. I just don't know if it's worth making, even if you could make one of these a little bit better. Despite how cool they look, I just don't think that it's actually, once I've made it and tried it out, it isn't actually as good as maybe I had hoped. But I actually love it anyway, because I actually tried to see whether it could work, and that is the most important thing. It doesn't matter if it doesn't work. I learnt a lot by making it, and I learned that it didn't work, and sometimes that is just as important. Now, speaking to my friend Baldy Locks, who has his own lockpicking channel, as I hope you already know, and he did suggest that you could make these shorter and use it sort of top of the keyway, so you could put it up here. In some locks with quite wide top of the keyway, you could probably see how that might actually help if you had a much smaller tool. But the fact of the matter is, would it be much better than, say, just using a bit of bent wiper blade like that and angling it up? I'm not convinced that it's actually worth the effort making a tool like this, even for top of the keyway tension. And it is such a shame, but it's still going to go on my shelf as something I made because I just really like it. You know, I did take some care over making this. It was really good fun. I love these little thumb turns. I think they're great. I like the way that it sort of slides back like that. There's so much about this tool which I like, apart from the fact it just doesn't really work in the way that you intend it to. But nevertheless, you know, it doesn't matter. The fact is that it's better, genuinely better to have tried and failed than not to try at all. And it's still, like I said, looks awesome. Another thing which I made, which did also, admittedly, I think look awesome, is this pick that I made. And I love this. I really do. Mostly because it's some of my most fine controlled work using a rotary multi-tool I've ever done. And this, of course, is the P, Q, R and S wave. I might have got that a little bit wrong. It's been a while. Of a heartbeat, and I call that the flat line. So you go do-dum, and then do, like that. I just love the idea, but this does not work. It's a terrible profile. As soon as you put that in a lock, this super high peak just jams between pins and you can't get the thing out. It's too high, it doesn't work, but it looks super cool. And again, I did learn a lot from making this, like never make it again. It's a lesson worth learning. But all I'm saying is, you know, if you do see something you think, oh, I wonder if that would work, honestly, give it a go. That's all I can really suggest. You might learn something, you might be inspired to make it different next time, and it might work, and it might be the best thing in the entire world. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed exploring this little pocket adjustable tension tool, albeit it doesn't really work very well. Great. Anyway, I'll see you all next time.